Sound check. Clarity. Pitch. Volume. Oh my goodness. I wonder how many silly videos is going to be in my Google thing, like years and years and years from now. Somebody's like, you need to go to the motherboard and delete some ancient files. And they come across mine and they're like, good God, this lady's the biggest hoarder of data ever. Yeah. Like, I really constantly, because I'm so afraid of losing something, like some kind of like video clip that I really needed, because this has happened to me multiple times, or some pictures of my kids. The traumatic experience of losing something, especially if you have trauma in your life anyways, and then you later on go through trauma like that, then the trauma is exponentially greater than, normal. At least that's what I think, for me anyways. Because my whole life has basically just been one traumatic event after the next, but I don't want, I don't want pity for sure, and I definitely don't like it when people are just nice to me out of pity. Like, that pisses me off. Like, that really pisses me off. Anyways, moving right along. Get up here, Pookie Bear. Come on. He's my little baby. Come on. Get up here. Look, Mommy. That's my Pookie Bear. Come here, get my woman. Easy, get my woman. He's my little baby. I love this dog so much. But the reason why I was making this quick little video is because, of course, I got to update you guys for the Tales of Embers and all that stuff, but you guys would not be watching me or would have subscribed to me or even be following me if you weren't somewhere in and around the same vibrational frequency as me. Yeah, we know that, so I don't even need to tell you this. This is for non-subbies, and people that may just now be getting close to the rabbit hole. Whereas we're already deeply immersed in it. So that being said, I feel like it's necessary, because the channel is going to probably start growing a lot quicker now, that first of all, I give some thanks to people being in my life at the time that they were in my life. And although at the time they may have thought, oh, that was so insignificant, like, why is she even talking about that? Because it wasn't insignificant. In fact, it was synchronistic to me being where I am now and going where I'm going to go and all of that. So, first, of course, both my baby's dads, because you guys give me my children, which gives me an even greater purpose and motivation for doing what I do every day, with the truth seeking and all of that, all of the art, all the free expression of self, and just all of that, being spiritual versus religious, and being able to be an in-home and on-hands mom for the time that I did, and then being able to grow as an adult while I have been doing that. So, and being as supportive as you guys have been. So thank you to Jeff and thank you to David, both of my baby's dads. Because as much as none of us like it or not, like, you guys are my baby's dad and I'm your baby's mama, and it is what it is, guys. So, and you know you love me. You know you love me. So, but next is special super shout out thanks to Jeff for being you and being your weird self, and your, like, into heavy metal, and being into, to me, what couldn't have been a more perfect band for the foundation of what I'm going to say. And that band, which is no longer together, unfortunately, let's all, like, take a moment to rest. Mudvayne. Okay. Anyways, the band is Mudvayne, and they're based out of Peoria, Illinois. And they're like a death metal kind of, like, I wouldn't say death metal. I can look it up here in a second. I should probably just look that up. Band whose logo is, let's just get it up close of that right there, of that sweet thing. The triangle. Okay. That triangle. It's a specific kind of triangle. We'll go into more of that in another video, but first let me get to all of the steps and all of the beautiful synchronicities that got me to, like, the coolest thing lately, besides my grandbaby, some of the most beautiful things that have happened in 2020, since we're inching up closer and closer towards the end of 2020. My favorite holiday is coming up, because I love Halloween. It's not just one day of the year, it's a whole effing month for me, and it's like starts 2 months early, so it's happening. It's about to be in full swing. So the logo, I always thought, like, man, there was something that just drew me to the triangle and that symbol of the band. And now, mind you, at the time I knew nothing about the symbol or anything behind it. So listening to them for a couple years, constantly seeing the logo, I'm like, I'm just gonna look it up, because I got one of their last albums, not a new game, but by the people for the people, and it has like a bunch of their demo tracks, and inside the insert where their song lyrics and stuff are, there's like a bunch of different pictures of fan artwork, and it mentions their Hermetic order of the Golden Dawn. Now, I cannot stress to you guys, like, how hard at first this was to find anything about that. This was, let's see, I started looking into the right after Miles passed away, so about 10 or 11 years ago. Yeah, about 11 years. Oh, wow. It is crazy how fast time goes. That's why I can't stand time. But, so I learned a lot about it. That's how I come across what we need to understand first and foremost is the 7 Hermetic principles. Now, in the link, because I'm not going to go into all that right now, you can find a description for Atlantean Gardens or Robert Sepehr's channel, both of them, because he's an anthropologist, and he talks way more in depth about this. If any of you know who Manly P. Hall is, then you do know a little bit about Hermetics. If you know about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you know about Hermetics. If you know about the Rosicrucians, you know about Hermetics. If you know that the occult is not a cult, and that occult does not mean dark stuff, it means hidden stuff. Hidden stuff doesn't mean bad stuff, it just means hidden. Okay? Right on. In comes Mitesh, who's been a mutual friend of mine and Jeff's for, so we're having a conversation about the Bible one day, because I'm just like, let's talk about this. Not to mention he has a associate's degree in religious science, so he knows a little bit about the Bible. So we were talking about, like, all kinds of different stuff, and we got on to Ezekiel, and of course we started talking about Von Daniken, and I was like, let's do that again. Like, mind blown. And ever since then, it has been one strange and seemingly endless bunch of synchronicities, one right after another. That because I'm stubborn, like, and I will drag my feet. If I don't want to do it, I don't like change. I will kind of like, I resist. I'm a rebellious person, and I resist. But I also believe in change. So I'm a walking contradiction. Like, you get it. Some of you get it. Some of you get it to the fullest extent of what I'm saying. You get it. So that leads me to deciding to cut news out of my ingest from TV. I basically cut TV out for the most part, except for when I watch YouTube. And I do watch creators on YouTube that I feel like are guided by the same principles and values and moral code that I expect any person walking on the face of planet Earth to conduct themselves under. So that is why I don't necessarily believe in laws handed to us by government. That makes me feel like that's a dictatorship, and I'm a sovereign being, and I'm capable of conducting myself in a manner as such. I also understand that the government's very oppressive and thinks that they have control over everybody on the planet. And so I try to navigate through life the best I can with all of those factors in place. Of course, I'm a human being, so going through all of that stuff with both my baby's dads and the relationship, not working with them, and then of course not working with me, Tesh, and like us doing this whole thing with being roommates and trying to like separate the relationship attachment, which isn't hard because we can't really stand each other most of the time, so that's not hard, but also still caring enough about each other to give them both the freedom to grow and do this while living under the same house, because neither one of us want to be homeless. And for like a number of reasons, it's just more feasible, and he understands this too for the most part, that it's easier for me to stay here and live with him than it is to live with my parents, because there's barely room for my parents in my parents' trailer. So which is another reason, like, just there's so many different things why I do this channel and why I have the idea to do this channel, what drives me doing this every day. So as long as you follow me, like, the videos could be, you know, a number of things. It could be me just sitting here talking with art or whatever, and when I go on hikes and exploring, like when I went to Wilson's Creek and stuff like that, you just never know. But there is a purpose behind it. If anything, it is to open so many different eyes on so many different issues, to give more insight and perspective so that people make more informed decisions before they just act so thoughtlessly and carelessly towards another human. So, like, yeah. Most of you who are watching this probably also go through the same thing that I do, the whole gaslighting thing, where, like, ooh, you tell some people some truth, you serve them up the cold hard truth, and they get butthurt. So you have to serve it up with a side of preparation H. That's just the way it is. But even I'm guilty of that. We're all guilty of it. If you say you ain't, you're lying, and get that bullshit out of my face, because I don't mess with that. But that's what this is about. More insight and perspective. And we'll talk more about this. We'll just talk about in another video a bunch of different channels that, like, I follow or subscribe to, and like, yeah. So things that, if you aren't aware of, that are really important this week that you should be looking up. The Arecibo telescope is down. They don't know what happened to it. It's one of our most important telescopes, and that is the reason why when an object flew about 1,800 miles within smacking into the earth, we had no idea it was coming. So just a little bit of perspective on that. Don't take every day for granted. You never know if you're going to be here tomorrow. Okay? So be kind to one another, and much love, and one love. Good vibes, and good night.
Bye.